You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end. Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society. Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. We're not going to go through with this, right? Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The interior of the blade. You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something? That isn't a good idea. Just drop the knife, and maybe the two of us can talk things out.
She's right, we shouldn't. We should just drop the blade. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us. The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. Unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
Sooner or later, you'll understand that I have your best interests at heart. Hopefully sooner.
How sweet. Now be a pal and help me get out of here, would you? We could figure out how to deal with them after I'm free.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
I'll be here.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp and you make quick work of it. Before long you're able to crack through bone and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me. Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it! Stop resisting me! I am trying to get you out of here alive. The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin, Oh, don't you start grandstanding about morals. The fate of the world is at risk right now, and the life of a mere princess shouldn't stop you from saving us all. Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago. A warning. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't. Wink. Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess. The The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once... You reach forward and rub your hand against... There was a mirror, and now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back. I'm afraid I'm going to insist we take the blade. We're in a dangerous situation and I'm not letting us go down there without a weapon. Are you sure? What if she... I don't know... turns it against us? Which I'm bringing up in a purely hypothetical manner. Yes, I'm sure. Turns it against you? She's a prisoner here. She'll only be able to turn it against you if you give it to her. Which you won't be doing because she's an existential threat to the entire world. Okay, I'm trusting you. Normally, yeah, but not about this. Call it a reflex. We take the knife as we go. Wonderful. You do exactly that, sweeping the blade from the table before proceeding to the basement. Don't worry about it. We have a knife, so what? It's not like we have to use it. No, you don't have to do anything, but you do well to use it regardless. Moving on. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Does she remember us? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. Should we be worried about the one around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease. You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me? Oh? Are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah, I remember.
First you make a comment about having been here before, and now this. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. This has complicated things. It's complicated things how, exactly? Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency. A contingency for what? For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck. If you knew this could happen, why didn't you tell us? All of this is incredibly valuable information. It would have changed our actions considerably. I needed you to be in the dark for as long as I could keep you there. It's important. Necessary, even. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative. That's pathetic. I never said I wasn't. I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky. So don't waste that luck by messing it up again. Alright? Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark? The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that. I won't. Just give it a rest, this isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming. I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
Nothing happened. You died. I went upstairs. I couldn't leave. I found myself in a new place in chains again. More of them. And now you're back.
Is that really all she knows? It's not like we have much of a clue about how things work. And she's probably even more in the dark than we are.
You're looking at me like I might be hiding something. I'm not.
I guess it's possible she really doesn't know anything. Maybe both of us are stuck in this loop without any idea why or how.
Let me borrow that knife. Don't worry, you'll get it back.
That's ominous, but she seems confident. Whatever it is she has planned, I think she knows what she's doing. Oh please, she's just putting on an act to disarm you. That much should be obvious. In case you need to hear a voice of reason, it would obviously be unwise to give away your only weapon. Though if she isn't bluffing, whatever she has planned might be for her benefit alone. There's no guarantee that what's good for her is good for us. So, what should we do? I don't know. I'm just spelling out our options, listing the pros and cons. Then let me help you. I'll start with the cons. If you're handing her your weapon, the cons are that she might use it to escape and end the entire world, and she might use it to kill you. That doesn't sound great. What about the pros? There are none. The pros are that we can't trust him, possibly even more than we can't trust her. And whatever she has planned could do something to mess with what he has planned. Or maybe they're both screwing us over in their own ways.
I do. So I guess this all comes down to which of us caves first. And it's not going to be me. I'm extremely patient.
It's probably better if we take action anyway. No use trying to wait her out. That's playing to her strengths.
Yes, your intentions. You have a knife. What are you going to do with it? Why are you here? There isn't a keyhole in these shackles, and I don't see any keys in your hands either. So I'm afraid my only way out is another surgical removal.
Is she forgetting about the shackle on her neck?
Or does she think she'd survive a beheading?
You're right. Maybe she's delusional. All the more reason not to trust her.
Unless she really could survive.
Though I suppose you could just be here to kill me. But I don't think that's in either of our best interests. The last time we met, your body tried to kill me. If you take a moment to imagine yourself in my position, I think you'll understand why letting you near me with that thing is untenable. So, be a good bird and hand it over. And if being nice isn't enough motivation, well, I think you're aware that I'm not afraid to resort to violence. If you come near me with that thing, I will strangle you with these chains.
She doesn't beat around the bush, does she? Yes, it's almost like she's a fundamentally bad person who wishes to inflict pain on others.
Or it's another bluff.
No hard feelings, of course, but you should be aware of my position. Slide it over.
No, absolutely not. I am not letting you hand your only weapon over to the world-ending princess. Until you come up with any other idea, like, say, I don't know, doing your job and slaying her, you remain rigidly in place.
You tried this last time. Do you want to know how it went for you?
Oh, I remember. She killed us, which, by your estimation, ended the world, right?
Oh, Rory tried to take over my body. Exactly. If I were you, I wouldn't be too keen on repeating your mistake. Hell, we could even force your hand and do it ourselves. I'm not afraid of dying again. Are you?
A little. I think you got your point across. Fine. You slide the blade across the floor. The princess maintains unsettling eye contact as she reaches down to pick it up.
Thanks.
She pulls up her hair, smiling slightly, as she raises the blade to her throat. What is she doing? She doesn't say another word as she cuts into her own neck.
No.
You close your eyes. That doesn't stop you from hearing every grisly detail. The splitting of skin, the wet mulching of severed veins, the grinding of metal against bone. I'll be damned. She's actually doing your job for you. Why would she do that?
So that's her play.
Killing herself?
We don't know that she's dead yet. We're not even watching it happen. She could just be faking those sounds.
And then, finally, you hear a snap and an uneasy silence. There is a slow and fleshy tear. Hard to fake that. This is worse than watching.
And yet our eyes are still closed.
Finally, there's the soft thud of something roughly head-sized bouncing against the floor, and the clattering of chains as they drop along with it. I think you can open your eyes now. Oh no, oh no, oh no, what did we do? Can we put it back? Please tell me we can put it back. The princess's eyes stare up at you. Dead. Congratulations! You saved the world.
Huh. So I guess that's it. What a way to go. But she is gone, isn't she?
I hate this. Can we just get out of here now, please? Of course, the princess is slain and the world is saved. Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward.
Now hold on, she's dead. So what's the rush? What's your angle?
I don't have an angle. I'm just looking forward to putting all this behind us. I'm sure you can understand that.
Look, I'm just not ready to put my guard down. It's best to keep sharp. She wouldn't have done all that without some kind of reason. She's left us with this dangling thread, and I need to know why.
You're just wasting your energy. The danger has passed, and now we can all relax and enjoy your reward.
Fine, but if we're leaving, then we're taking the blade. I feel exposed without it.
With your work done, you remove the blade from the princess's corpse and make your way back upstairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. You can think of it as sealing yourself off from an unpleasant chapter of your life. It's all uphill from here.
The windows. Do you see that? We used to be able to see the outside world from up here, but now it's just empty. The door. Check the door.
You open the cabin door, ready to return, only a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago,
You don't have to act surprised. We could see this vast emptiness through the windows.
but if everything's gone, does that mean we're not gonna get our reward? This is your reward. An eternity of bliss, if you'll have it. And I suggest that you have it. Okay. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me.
Like hell it is.
What's done is done, and there's no going back now. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months.
Decades? No, it can't be decades. We can't go along with this. We can't let him win. We still have a blade. Let's use it on ourselves and start over.
He's suggesting you kill yourself. You shouldn't kill yourself when you have an eternity of bliss right in front of you. That's great. Congratulations. You've earned it. More happy time passes, though
He's just saying things.
the voice's protestations fall on deaf ears. Eventually you pass into a blissful state of pure existence. Though words like eventually and pass ceased to have any meaning to you.
No, you stop that. Stop all this nonsense.
You really don't want to be happy, do you?
You know what you have to do. If it makes it easier for you, I can do it. Let me have it. Alright, I'll make this quick.
You goddamn spiteful bastard. Are you really going to turn down immortality itself just to make me lose?
Why should it matter if we die at this point? Haven't you already gotten what you want?
I don't have to answer that.
That's all we needed to hear.
Yeah, fine. The little voice raises the pristine blade to your throat and cuts it open. You rapidly bleed out and then you die. You're a genocidal maniac, you know that, right?
Yeah, we'll see about that.
You're on a path in the woods. See? All done. That wasn't so bad, was it, buddy? But it was so bad. I don't like dying. I don't like being cold and alone in the dark. I don't think anybody likes dying, but hey, at least it's over. We got better. And now we can move on. Things will work out this time. I know it.
Oh, don't coddle him. For all we know, we'll have to die hundreds of times to get to the bottom of things. Maybe even thousands. He needs to toughen up.
Toughen up. You're both freaks. I'm normal. A normal person gets traumatized from dying. And from having to listen to someone cut her own head off. Those sounds are still echoing in my ears. Hold on, did you say thousands? How can it possibly take us thousands of lives to find a way out of it?
Obviously, we need a large sample size. in order to figure out our optimal plan, we need statistical significance.
I'll have you know that my reality is not a data point in your misguided attempt at an experiment. You've clearly already been here before, and judging by how deranged you all are, you've already been here more than once. I'll spare you my full introduction, but I would like to remind you that the people in my world are living, breathing, suffering entities, not pawns for you to sacrifice in pursuit of some vague truth. You stand at the edge of a cliff. An abyss yawns beneath you, empty and endless. The only path forward, a rusted metal bridge. The cabin looms on its far side. I think you already know what waits for you within.
It's dreary, but of course it is. We're dreary, and so is she.
There's nothing to find out here. Time to check in with the missus.
I'm going to pretend you didn't just call her that. Every surface of the cabin is draped in chains, the air filled with the mock birdsong of metallic clinks. Where there should be walls, you can see only endless ropes of metal, with hooks dangling from their ends. A fitting cage for a monster destined to end the world. There's nothing for you to do but step forward into the basement. You already have your weapon. Your objective awaits.
Huh. That mirror's back again. Why?
What mirror? There is no mirror. The only thing of note here is the door to the basement.
It doesn't matter. What are we going to do, look at ourselves? I've had enough introspection.
But it does matter. It's obviously important. It has to be. Otherwise it wouldn't be here.
I'm not going to waste time arguing with you. Just get to the basement, okay? The door's on the other side of the room. Then, I guess there's nowhere for us to go but forward. You step out onto the floor. Or what should have been a floor.
Should have been?
Yes, unfortunately. You realise too late that there is no floor beneath the metal. There is only a loose web of chains suspended over some unseen space. An unseen space that you are now rapidly plummeting through.
She's bringing us back to her.
Or we just happened to fall through an unstable floor. She's a prisoner here. How much agency do you think she has?
More than you'd like, I'm sure.
Your fall is suddenly, painfully halted as rusty chains pull taut against your skin, their hooks digging into your muscle. You find yourself suspended in what appears to be a vast, dark space. The glinting of yet more chains merely hinting at its full dimensions. You dangle a few feet off the bare concrete floor. If the princess lives here, slay. As your eyes adjust to your new surroundings, you make out a figure standing in the gloom, obscured in shadow. She watches you with the stillness of the grave.
Easy now. We don't know what sort of situation we're dealing with. We should let her make the first move. Let observation give us an advantage.
But you are met with only silence, save for the creaks and groans of metal as it sways in the stale air around you. The hooks slowly shift in your skin, the pain coming in waves as you continue to dangle helplessly.
She won't even speak to us. We did this.
The princess takes a slow step forward. As she does so, the heavy chains shift, tightening and tearing at your flesh, your joints screaming in agony as the rusted hooks dig deeper. Stars dance in your eyes as the chain wrapped around your neck threatens to choke you. As your vision comes back into focus, your eyes fall on the body of the princess, finally emerged from the shadows. The body of the princess is a weird way to describe a person. It's only accurate. The form in front of you is a body, draped in raiments of chains, her head dragging along behind her in an iron cage. The head stares up at you but says nothing, and the chains squeeze ever tighter.
So much for talking it out. Doesn't seem like she's too interested, does it?
We still have that blade. Maybe there's something we can do to get out of this.
What good would it do us? We should have gotten rid of it. She'll never trust us now. Not after everything we've done.
Mad at you? I'm not mad at you. I know you didn't have anything to do with that. Not outside of your designated role, of course.
The body takes another step towards you, the chains around you tightening, the hooks boring deeper into your flesh. They constrict dangerously around your throat. You find it harder to breathe.
I don't think she's happy you're here. But what do I know? I'm just a set of eyes and ears. I don't make choices. At least not any that matter.
The poor thing. She thinks it's easier to be detached. But buried pain is still pain, whether she knows it or not.
This was all doomed from the start, wasn't it?
You're a step ahead of me. That means you finally get it. I'm happy for you. I really am. Everything we witness is just another shade of the same endless cycle. I wake up in chains.
The body steps forward. Your bindings tighten again.
You come to me, knife in hand.
The body steps forward. The pressure on your limbs is becoming unbearable.
You give me your implement. See? You already did that one.
You begin to black out.
I cut myself free.
She's right. We're trapped in a cycle, and I think it's too late for us to get out.
That is what I wanted, but you didn't do it. And I don't think you could have done it. The walls are what the walls are. So give in with me. None of this is up to us.
She steps forward yet again, and the chains dig into you, your nerves screaming, your heart pounding, your lungs desperate for air. I don't think we can hold on to you much longer.
I think we're about to break.
This is all getting so predictable, isn't it? Pop. And now, the cut. See? You only ever thought you were in control. Isn't it so much nicer to let go? We watch, just like we've been doing since the beginning. Look at us go. Aren't we beautiful? It's all going to come to a head soon. Head. I guess I'll see you next time. It's cold, but that's always been us, hasn't it? Cold isn't bad. I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same. And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes. I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it. This one is a body that convinced herself she was only a set of eyes. She will make for a watchful heart. Do not mourn her. She is now what she wished that she could be. It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? Do you resent me? It does seem small from here, and the more we journey, the smaller each of those steps will be, but that doesn't make any of them less special. My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is turned inward, except when you are here with me. Perhaps this will change when our work is done. I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is you're here to Yes. While I Does it? It's a secret. yet, but I think you'll like it. It's a special reward, just for you. And whatever you think it might be, I can promise you it's going to be even better than your wildest imagination. You take the blade.
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
How about you drop the knife and the two of—
Look how reasonable she's being. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can just... The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the against your better judgment. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade. Don't just tell her that.
I don't remember much about it, to be honest.
Just how long has she been?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
Sooner or later, you'll understand that I have your best interests at heart. Hopefully sooner. You...
I'll be here.
Against your better judgment. Stop. Thank you. You swing your arm towards her throat, the blade singing through the air. But she's ready for it. She grabs your arm, her grip like a stone vice. You drop the blade, pathetically. She lets go, and faster than you can react, rears back and hits you with a bone-shattering haymaker. There's a ringing in your ears. You're fairly certain you can feel bone grinding against bone where she fractured your jaw, but your body isn't allowing you to feel much right now, adrenaline coursing through your system and numbing your nerves. You fall to your knees. You're barely able to bring your trembling arms up to defend yourself before she hits you again. Every blow is as punishing as the first. You feel bones shatter with every impact, unknown ruptures blossoming with blood somewhere inside of you.
You poor thing. I'll go ahead and put you out of your misery.
She places a confident heel on your chest and pushes you down to the ground. Her knee falls to your throat, your windpipe crushed beneath a weight you didn't think her slight form could possibly possess. It can't just end like... I'm sorry, but it's over. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods. You're here to... Oh, don't you start grandstanding about morals. The fate of the world is at risk right now, and the life of a mere princess shouldn't stop you from saying... If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's... You know I can hear you, right? What does it matter what he knows? She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole time second-guessing yourself. A warning. We might as well just pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us. Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge? I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic. You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included. I agree. If she's wrongfully imprisoned, then we should rescue her, but if he's telling the truth, we shouldn't just hand her the world on a silver platter. Rescue her? Given the stakes of the situation, there isn't really a difference between rescuing her and pledging yourself to her. Either would be terrible. So please try to ignore both of those knuckleheads and focus on saving the world. Let's not make this harder than it has to be. If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here. The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. Why do we feel so small? We don't feel small. We are small. You walk up to the wall next to the basement. What are you talking about? This isn't... You reach... We should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen. No blade this time. Yeah. Maybe she'll be more receptive if we're unarmed. Blade, no blade. It doesn't matter. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase. Its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease. This is actually kind of nice. It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably... Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. You shouldn't have come down here unarmed. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her. Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there. It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess. Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall. The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. I see your hands are empty. You've already given up, haven't you? You aren't even going to try and kill me. How sweet. And more than a little disappointing.
She's disappointed in us?
Kneel.
But the words don't leave your mouth. Instead, your legs buckle and your knees hit the floor.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you told me I was destined to end the world. That thought wrapped itself around my heart. It has pulled at me since the moment I squeezed the life out of your broken lungs. I could feel its fundamental truth awaken me. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new, and the world as it is now is overdue for alterations. It's time for me to seize my destiny, and you, little bird, will help me seize it.
Well, that gives away the game, doesn't it? It certainly does. And beyond that, it more than lends credence to our conversation in the woods. I don't love the thought that in some other reality you failed to destroy her, but what's done is done. I can only hope it helped you learn a valuable lesson. You are the only one who can deal with her. And if you don't, well, she's let you know what will happen, hasn't she? And you shouldn't have trusted us with her destruction. She is inevitable.
Can't you feel it?
He's being melodramatic, but he's not exactly wrong, is he? What are we supposed to do to stop her? Okay, first things first, you're going to have to stuff those pessimistic thoughts someplace far, far away and commit yourself to what needs to be done. The stakes of the situation should be perfectly clear to everyone now. And if you're going to save the world, you have to have faith that you can pull this off. You can't win a battle that you've already lost in your mind.
This isn't about desire. This is about what I am. And I have little interest in discussing destiny with one that cannot see the divine truth that shines in my heart. Know the limits of your privilege, little bird. There's an empty place at my side for you to fill, if you'll have it. But it is not a place for an equal. It is a place for something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet. All you have to do is break these chains and set me free.
Don't be rude. Of course she can. It's not rude to question someone who's apparently trying to end the world. That's exactly why it's rude. We should not.
I can, easily. But that isn't what I want to do. The story of a terrible and bountiful God unbounded of her own will is no story at all. It's not worthy of everything I am, or everything I'm bound to become. It isn't even worthy of what I was. The destruction in Genesis that's to follow in my wake is deserving of a song that can echo for eternity. The song of you, being so struck by my glory, so overwhelmed by what I am, that you feel you must deliver me into the world. And from your act of utter devotion and submission springs a new dawn, a better dawn. Submit now, submit later. It makes no difference. Because in the end, no matter how vainly you struggle against me, my will triumphs over yours. Your will was so easily broken. Am I that magnificent? All you need to do now is break my chains.
If this is what you want, then I guess there's not much else for me to say. No, you can't just give in to her. Not when the stakes are so high. Not when you're so close. I won't let you do this.
There's still something in the way. A greasy film inside of you where it doesn't belong, trying to conceal you from me. Is that a person? No, it used to be a person. It's something different now. An echo.
Is she talking about you? That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you? A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
No. What are you talking about? I
don't care what you are. You're mine. Rise, my little bird.
Without hesitation, you're brought to your feet.
Break my chains.
And how are we supposed to do that? We don't even have a weapon. All you need to do is believe it's been done. You poor, wretched little thing. You already do believe. You've always believed. All you have to do is open the last door to your heart.
It's easy. And once you let her in, you'll be safe and free forever.
Please don't do this.
There's nothing to be sorry about.
This is how... Alright, I'm done with this. I'm just gonna go sit in the corner. Let me know if we get our agency back. Her chains shatter, and the cuff falls from her wrist. She is loose, and the end is upon us.
What a good disciple you are. Come, it's time for us to leave.
She's gone. And there's that mirror. But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. I don't want to look at her. Okay. If you say so. We'll trust you. A mercy.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. We're supposed to be there. Do you know what we'll find out there? This one is Dominance, a figure capable of bending everything to her will. She will make for an overwhelming heart. Do not mourn her, for she would not be able to mourn you. If I did, I would already be awake. No, their thoughts are quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond? Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves. There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people. Fresh tears on a winter's day. They are not like us. They do not last. The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
You're on a path